Hey guys, it's Ryan here with Hobbies Man. Once again, today we're doing another episode of the Storm and Sorcery Book Club. Today we're looking at Conan, the Tower of the Elephant. This is an oversized, it's essentially a storybook. They took the Tower of the Elephant text, they divided it up into chunks, and then each chunk gets its own image created by this artist here, Sesher. And here's what the spine looks like. It's a nice thin book. It's maybe a bit overpriced for my taste, but I think it follows in line with the pricing for your average European album of, bande dessinée. So this is fairly good. It's a large, oversized book, so you can appreciate the art very well. And here's what it says in the back. So this is a bit of a excerpt from the story, then a general synopsis of the story, and then a synopsis of the book, right? So gloriously illustrated work as an adaptation of one of the most celebrated Conan stories of Robert E. Howard by Valentin Setcher, who does the work for Michael Moorcock's Elric, which I'm pretty sure is a very well-loved title currently. A lot of people seem to like it, at least a lot of people that follow Sword and Sorcery. And just for comparison's sake, here's what it looks like compared to a magazine format. So it's significantly bigger. You basically just stretch it from here, and you get about 1.5 inches extra page space, at least on the board, for the cover. It's a little bit smaller on the inside, but not by much. You still get about 1 inch on each side, which is a massive improvement. And there's no end pages. I think this would have been a nice addition if they had some sort of image here, but it is what it is. The classic black at least is nice too. Conan, you have the two people that are working on it, Titan and Heroic. And I don't know how different this is from the Ablaze books that you can get currently, which are titled The Sumerian. And all of those are also adaptations of Robert E. Howard's stories by different comic creators from Europe. So I don't know how this is any different from that in terms of initiative, but it is a separate title. I think this is the licensed version of that, because The Sumerian is based on the fact that most Robert E. Howard stories are currently in the public domain. So yeah, there's a nice end sheet here with Conan facing off the lion in the tower, which is really, really nice. And the story starts. And generally speaking, I think the actual text is small but very readable. I don't have any trouble with it, although someone significantly older than me might have a difficulty with it, but it generally is easy to read. And most of the time, the focus is really on the art, because this is a story that's so well known that you might not even need to read it most of the time. And like I said, this is an adult illustrated book, like a storybook, basically. And I hope that we get more of these. I think these would be really, really nice to have. And you get a lot of text in this page. There is one thing I didn't quite like about this book, and it really does directly relate to this page here. In the narration, this character is directly described to us as a man who thrust his muscle into a huge tankard of frothing ale. He had fat lips, and he was a very large, fat man, right? And so the fact that this looks like a very well-built man is a nicer image to look at, but it's not accurate to the text. And I feel like that is such a weird thing to overlook. I would have liked it if the creator, Valentin Setcher, really went in on that instead of giving us like a more attractive looking dude so that Conan could fight him, right? So, I don't know, that's just me. A really nice piece here. I like how it looks. But again, I think he looks too fit for the description that we got. And generally speaking, I wouldn't care too much, but because the text is right underneath the image of the character, it bothers me. Then Conan goes off. He skulks away into the city of Zamora, trying to find the tower. This looks awesome. I love this. This is such an awesome establishing shot of the city and also of the actual tower, so I love that. And then we get this image here, which I thought was Thotamon initially, but based on the text, I think he would be Yara, the high priest. And it looks really, really awesome. I love how this looks, but the text here doesn't really line up with the image too much. It lines up with the first couple sentences, but the vast majority of the story is actually about Conan getting into the tower, right? And that ties in here. Conan beats a guard and then is found by another one. And well, the guard turns out to actually not be a guard, but rather this other thief that Conan meets. His name is Taurus, and he's like a great thief, right? And so Conan and he kind of join forces in order to climb the tower, and then they finally get inside. They deal with these sleeping lions here, and then they have a huge fight with them that looks really, really awesome. I love how this page is rendered. And then they scale the tower properly, which looks awesome. I love that as well. And this is a really nice scene, actually. Very well detailed. Eventually, Conan gets to the interior of the tower, deals with the spider, which is awesome. I always love when Conan fights giant monsters, or giant animals. The story continues. And then finally, we have Yagkosha, which looks awesome. I like that he has like a very normal looking human body and then just a giant elephant head. Like, I like when he looks like that. Very cool. A close-up of Yagkosha. Very nice. I love the realistic depiction of like the keratinized skin of the elephants. It's kind of like, you know, your knuckles or something like that. Looks really cool. And I love this scene because it's a very interesting interpretation of when Yagkosha talks about coming to Earth, you know, on wings of fire. Usually it's depicted as Yagkosha and the other people of his planet being angels with elephant heads that fly on their own bodies. But in this case, it's a spaceship. And I like that because this really gives you more of the ancient alien vibe that Yagkosha represents, more so than like the angelic vibe that we see in other depictions, right? Yagkosha teaching humanity his magics and stuff like that, which is really cool. And then, of course, Conan taking out his heart and the actual jewel and using it to kill the ancient priest Yara. And the end of the story there. Very, very cool. I love this. I think it's phenomenal. And then him leaving the city and moving on to the next story. And a nice sketchbook here to end the book, which looks really cool. I love it, but it's really hard to lift this book up. I don't have nails, so it's hard to get a leverage on it. But yeah, very, very nice. I like this a lot. And it looks like it is all digital, but this is like using a more, you know, no, actually, see, final sketches realized in wooden pencil or in digital before transfer to frame. These pencils are A3 format, and the last step before the oil painting stage. So I thought it was digital, but it doesn't look like it. I guess it is in, you know, real life, painted with traditional mediums. And then you get a little history of the creators and some special thanks. So overall, I think this is a very good book. I don't necessarily know it's worth $25, but it's definitely worth $15, which I think is what I paid for it through in-stock trades. And I recommend that you guys get your hands on it because it's really, really well done. If we ever get a chance to buy any prints from this book, I would buy one. Either the spaceship one or the scene of Conan fighting the lion. I think those would look really good as posters. Although one of them would be kind of hard to tell that it's for Conan, so maybe Conan versus the lion would be the best poster to get. Or maybe even this cover. I think it looks really phenomenal. So yeah, there you go. That's Conan, Tower of the Elephant by Robert E. Howard and Valentin Searcher as the artist, published by Titan Comics. So yeah, I recommend you guys give this a go, and thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time.